Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and welcome back to 30 Days of Guitar. Today is day 12, and we're going to be adding yet another chord shape to our repertoire, and that's going to give us G, C, and D, which is like the ultimate three-chord combo. We're going to use it to play some of Wonderful Tonight, which, super popular, super fun song. We're also going to add a strumming pattern with some down and upstrokes to it, so we're really going to have like a pretty standard lesson today that's going to test all the skills that we've been learning so far. Before we get into it, if you want some printed stuff, I have a free ebook, printable stuff. I have a free ebook. It's up to like 41 or 42 pages now of everything that you need to get started on guitar, all the basic chord shapes, strumming patterns, and so on. So please check that out if you haven't grabbed your copy yet. And speaking of subscribing, if you haven't done that either, please take a moment to like and subscribe. If you enjoy learning guitar with me, I really appreciate it. With that out of the way, let's just jump right in. Yesterday we were playing What I Got by Sublime, and that used G and D sus4. And now the new chord that we're going to be learning today is actually a really simple switch. We're going to take this G chord, we're going to move these two fingers down one string each. So it almost looks the same. We just moved them over, and this is C add 9. And for our C add 9 chord, we can place our middle finger a little bit higher so that it lightly touches the underside of the thickest string. That'll mute it. That'll make it sound a little bit better. It's not essential, but once again, it's a great skill to learn how to mute those excess strings and to spend a little bit of time on it. I wouldn't make like a big thing out of it, but just take a look at it. See, maybe it'll come easy to you. Maybe it'll be something that you'll learn down the road. And every time we learn a new chord shape, we need to go through that process. First, we silent switch, just working out the motions, making sure our thumb and everything that we're all comfortable, that it feels good to play this chord shape. Guitar feels good when you do it right. And after that, we do the chord switching game, which I'm going to leave this up to you. I want you to really start being in charge of your journey. In my beginner's course, we do, every single step of the chord switching game for like a ton of chord combinations, and we really do take you through it all. But at the same time, we also let you kind of fly off on your own. I think that's really important, that step, and doing the chord switching game by yourself and just going through every phase of it is going to help you out so much. And then we would do that for C add 9 to D. And that's, once again, we've already done such a similar switch. We have our C add 9, which is so close to G. We lift those two fingers and we make our D shape. And we go back and forth silently, a whole bunch. And I'm going to want you, right after this lesson, as soon as you're done watching this lesson, you're going to do all this stuff. And that's going to be what, carries you forward and helps you reach your goals on guitar. And then we do the chord switching game. 1, switch, switch, switch. 1, switch, switch, back. You go through each phase of that. For G to C add 9 and for C add 9 to D, we already did G to D. So out of those three chords, when you think of all the possible switches, we're going to have all of them covered and be able to play any song that uses those three chords in any order. Now, as for the song that we're going to be applying these chord shapes to today, it's Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. We can do the intro and the verse. The chorus does require an E minor chord, which we already know, but we haven't worked out all the switches, like from D to E minor. So we're going to save that for another day, and we will be covering it, and we're going to come up with like the ultimate chord progression that you can play thousands of songs with. But for now, let's just, we're on one of the stepping stones to that point, and I want to make sure we cover every base and we don't jump ahead. When it comes to the chord progression, it's the same thing for the intro and the verse. It's G, D, C, D. I'll write it up there, one measure each. And notice I'm putting just G, D, and C. I'm not putting D sus4 and C add 9. Even though those are the shapes we're playing, those are kind of just placeholders to help you build the dexterity. Doing the real C chord, which we are going to do, by the way, is something that we build up into doing. The quickest path to failure is to just try to do it in the most complete, difficult way, and then be like, I must not be that great at guitar because my C chord doesn't sound good. This way, we're going to build up the skills, we're going to build up the technique. So, don't worry, because a lot of people ask, why are we learning C add 9? This is why. Anyways, we're on that G chord, going to D, C, D. Let's just give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. D. If it's too much for you to strum it like this, we can just go strum 2, 3, 4, D 2, 3, 4, C 2, 3, 4, D 2, 3, 4. So we're kind of applying the chord switching game to a full chord progression. You know, you could do any level of the chord switching game that way. But ultimately, you want to end up doing 4 downstrokes per chord shape and doing the progression like that. And then we can add a strumming pattern to it. I want to do the same one that we did with Songbird, where we went down, down, up, down, down, up. So a downstroke on beat 1, a down up on 2, a down on 3, and then a down up on 4. Take a moment and warm up with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, down, down, up. It's just alternating between a down and a down up. That's the simplest way to think about it. And we're going to start on G, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where I want to end it today. We are obviously going to learn the rest of that, you know, but there's a few other bits and pieces, and I don't want to overwhelm. And in fact, we've been doing a lot of chord stuff this week. So tomorrow I actually want to play the melody from Wonderful Tonight in a really simple way. And we're just going to do a totally different thing. We're going to play a melody on guitar. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you've enjoyed learning guitar with me, please remember to subscribe, and don't forget to grab your copy of my free ebook. If you want a complete path where we have the time to really go in depth and practice together and do everything together, that's what I do in my complete beginner course. And I'm going to put a link to that in the corner and down below as well. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you tomorrow.